Hello folks and welcome along to the third round of season 10. Jeezy peeps, I forgot about that. Oh, bit of blunder there, but yeah, we are here, season 10, for the third round of season 10, sorry. And we're here at Monza, the tempo of speed. The length of this track is 5.73 kilometres or 3.599 miles. The tyres we are going to be using here today are the C5 soft tyres, the C4 mediums and the C3 hard compound tyres. There's 11 corners here and 2 DRS zones, and there's going to be plenty of action with plenty of straights, and there should be quite a lot of overtakes. So we're seeing a few cars out on track right now, but while they get ready for their flying laps, we've only got this 18-minute short qualifying session, and then we'll go on to a 27-lap race. Looking at the standings right now, in first place we have got Bo on 48 points. 4 points behind him is Mel Dave in the Ferrari on 44 points. And then there's Bobo on 42 points in third. Then we've got Super Striker in fourth on 39 points. And 37 points in fifth is James M in the Ferrari. M Harry in sixth in the Red Bull on 28 points. 1 point behind him is Ben T. Smith in the McLaren. So they are going to be quite close. Go Bucks in the Mercedes. We've got Go Bucks in the Mercedes on 23 points, and 20 points is Unzi and Joshi Wilco, both tying for 9th place. And then 1 point behind that we've got Connor on 15 points. We've got tied for 12 Super Calgon and Ross. And then as we get further down, we've got, I think that's EP in the RB on 13 points. Kicksilver, driver of Sun, on 12 points. But right now, we're going to be getting back to the action that is at hand. While that's going on, we've also got the constructor stand-ins. Ferrari in first place on 81 points, and we've got Red Bull on 67 points, Alpine on 54 in third, and fourth is Aston Martin on 51 points. Then we've got Mercedes in fifth on 43 points, and did we see M Harry there going a bit wide? I did miss that unfortunately by reading this, but we've got Team Silver. We've got the Silver team in sixth place on 38 points, McLaren on 32 points in seventh. In eighth is the RB with 31 points, just trailing McLaren by 1 point. Pretty close between them two. Haas in ninth place on 22 points, and the Williams team on 17 points, sitting in 10th. Now getting back to the action that is at hand. We've got 14 minutes still left of this short qualifying session, and we're starting to see the times coming now. We've got Jimmy Jags in that Red Bull, 120.448, and we had Eric Pinto just behind him, a 121.374. M Harry in the other Red Bull puts in a 126.004, and just seen Little Majin and Ross Northover put in quicker times. Both the Williams, a 119.797 for Ross. Little Majin, a 120.317. Then we just had the newcomer Hazard. He put in a time into fourth, now dropped down into fifth, a 121.208. And Nobby Bootneck in fourth there, just been overtaken by Ben T. Smith, a 120.912. And for Ben T. Smith, a 120.770. Going further down, we'll have a wee look and see who we have got who's just started a lap. We've got Always Grinding. We'll stay on board with him as he's coming down to start his lap. Joshua Wilco, 119.744. With this Alpine, he's just finished a lap. We'll go further down and we'll see if we've got a driver who's just about to start. Here we go, we've got Brewdog in the Haas, just coming around the Parabolica now. We'll see what time he's going to be able to put on the board. stay on board with him for his lap. DRS wide open just after he crosses that start-finish line. And now going all the way down, braking just before the 100-metre board and trying not to go too much over that apex at turn 1 or at turn 2. Now back on the power as we go around the Curva Grande turn 3. Now into the chicane of turns 4 and 5. The Del Roggia chicane now into Lesmo 1. Be careful on the outside, you could have carried a little bit more speed in there. But now into Lesmo 2, you've got to carry as much speed through that corner as you can, because it's a long straight all the way down to the Ascari section, just under the old part of the Monza track there. Just as you're coming under that bridge and now through the Ascari section there, nicely done, no problems whatsoever. And now down onto the final corner, the Parabolica, the final corner, turn 11. Now, got to hook this up quite nicely, carry that speed as much as he can to the line. What's he going to be able to put in on the board? A 121.104. It's good enough for 12th position. For now, we've got Unzi in the silver, just about to start his lap, left it a little bit later than some of the other folks. Well, we've still got Super Calgon and Mark Bow and Cookie still to come out of the pits and even go on an outlap. We've got Haas, that was Super Calgon just coming out there as Unzi was going down into the braking section of turn 1. Now around the Curva Grande, he's got to try and get a nice lap in here. We'll go just remove everything there and we can just see straight on board now as he's coming through the second of the two Lesmos, and he takes a bit too much curb there, but that may have been just a little bit of lag there. He may be all good now downhill under the old section of the track. DRS wide open, hard on the brakes just before that 50-metre board, and now taking as much curb but not too much, as you don't want to end up being chewed up and spat out right into the barrier. But now foot flat to the floor as he's coming up to the Parabolica, braking just a little dab on the brakes as he's coming up to the 50-metre board. Now run out as wide as he can to carry as much speed as he can through, straight to the line, sticking over to the right hand side. It goes fastest, a 119.334, puts it on provisional pole by just under 3/10. Nicely done from the silver driver. We'll go further down and we've got Super Calgon, who's still yet to settle up, just coming down into the Rettifilio chicane. Now we've seen plenty of times in the past how much, even in real life Formula 1, that we could see how much slipstream plays an effect in this qualifying. So it is going to be really important to try and not be the first one out, as we remember seeing, if any of you do remember, at Monza a few years ago. We ended up having a bit of a, what would you call it, a kerfuffle at the end of qualifying. And only two drivers out of 10 managed to cross the line. So yeah, it's a bit of one of them. But now Super Calgon just about to start a lap. He didn't validate his warm-up lap, but that shouldn't affect him now. Yep, and there we go. See that disappear, that little red outlined map at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That tells you there if the driver has invalidated or not. Nicely done there through turns 1 and 2, the Rettifilio chicane. Now around the Curva Grande. This track has got a lot of history here, having so many amazing and even controversial moments in the past. I mean, we could just look back a couple of years ago at the Lewis Hamilton Max Verstappen incident at turn 1 as Max was coming out, as Lewis was coming out of the pits. And yeah, it's one of them tracks that we've seen plenty of action happen in the past. Now Super Calgon just exiting the Ascari chicane on his final run down to the final corner. Now let's see what time is he going to be able to put on the board. He's good enough for 14th position at 120.666. Pick up sticks. Cookie. And apparently he says he went purple in sector 1, but we know how much of baloney this game likes to tell you. So we'll just see how Cookie is going to do. I think he was another newcomer, I'm unsure. Did see his name pop up just recently. But wow, he goes way quicker. A 119.010. 3/10 quicker than Unzi, 6/10 quicker than Bob. That was a quick lap there from the McLaren driver. We've got Mark Bow in the Alpine just coming around Lesmo 1. Remember back to from a time in 1971 when the BRM of Peter Gethin led a bunch of 5 cars across the line to win by 0.01 of a second. 100th of a second. That is insane, I will say. So this is the sort of thing that we could be expecting here tonight. But let's see, we've got Mark, who is on a lap right now. He is our championship leader, so we could expect a good lap from him as he's just coming down into the Del Rogier chicane. He navigates that quite nicely there, I will say. Using up as much of that track on the entry and on the exit as he can to take the shortest line around that track. Doesn't take a lot of apex there. And wishes it away a little, but still manages to fly through the second Lesmo now to the Ascari chicane now. Navigates that nicely, extending the car out quite nicely, and now down into the Parabolica. We'll be able to see what he is capable of. Tries to keep it in as tight as he can. Now to the line, the times you're going to be able to put on the board. It's good enough for third place of 119.430, and he just goes down to fourth place there as our driver who finished third in Singapore last week gets into second place with a 119.122. So now let's see who is going to be next. I think it may be, is it Brewdog? Nope, it may be Mel Dave. Yep, he's just he's invalidated the lap, unfortunately. Joshi Bolko is getting a slipstream from his teammate Hazard. Oh, and he gets a little bit shaky there, but there Hazard gets out the way there and stops being a hazard. But did that help or hinder Joshi? We'll need to find out in just a few moments. as he's coming down to the end of sector 2 now. He's up on his time by 1/10. And if he gets just that little bit more, he could possibly get up to 5th position. And he's got a little bit of car traffic ahead of him. Hopefully that won't bother him. And I think that may be an Alpine that was there, but it was out of fuel, I think. And there we go, up into 5th place, 119.558. Nicely done there from Josh A there. Brewdog is on a lap now. Oh, and Connor's retired. Brewdog, unfortunately, not quicker on that lap, still down in 14th place. It's only 28 thousandths of a second separating Brewdog and GZ. We'll see if GZ's got room for improvement here. See if it'll come up. There we go. Going into sector 3, he was just over a 10th up on his time, so 10th up on his time, that could possibly even put him up into 11th place if he keeps on going and gets up to 2/10. We'll find out in just a few short moments. There we go, he goes up to 10th place, he goes half a second quicker. He went a lot quicker there in that final sector there. Nicely done there from him. Got Murph just starting a lap now. Brewdog's actually on an out lap, a flying lap now. We'll see. So Joshy Wilco's and Connor are the only two that have not went again. So Brewdog improves, goes up to 12th place, so 130.370. We're seeing major yellow flags here. And that appears to be... I couldn't get a good look there at what car that was, but we'll have a wee quick look. Seeing M. Harry, who's not managed to get a good time on the board, gets a decent time, 120.170. That puts him up into 13th position. We look further about. There's Murph to the line, 119.5. Cookie goes even quicker, 118.7. My cheesy peeps, Unzi's going slower. I'm going to look at Ross Northover. He's getting a little bit of a slipstream here from the car ahead, the Mercedes of... That's not Joshy Wilco's, that's Hazard, who's actually out on track, being controlled by the AI, and Ross has just went and lifted off. Eric jumps into the pit, and that is the end of qualifying now. There we go, there's Ross just coming across the line. We're just waiting for the RB of Eric Pinto to come into the garage. We'll just go briefing down there. You see him getting wheeled in there, away off in the distance up near at the end of the pit lane. And there we go, that is the end of qualifying. You've seen the championship leader getting a 5th position in the Alpine. It was Mr. Cookie in that McLaren that got that pole position, a 118.767. Then we had Connor in the RB in 2nd place, Unzi in 3rd, Bob in 4th, Mark Bow in 5th. Then we had Murph 6th, Joshy Wilco 7th, 8th was Ross Northover. Then we had a little Margin, Mel Dave, always grinding in 11th, Ben T. Smith 12th, 13th was Jay-Z, 14th M. Harry. Then we had Nobby Bootneck, Brewdog, and Jimmy Jugs in 15th, 16th and 17th, Eric Pinto 18th, Super Calgon 19th, and at the back of the grid is Hazard in that Mercedes. Jay-Z peeps, I wish you guys would calm it with pressing X sometimes. But right now we're just waiting for the drivers to get their setups finalised, get their tyre strategies all sorted and their fuel levels correct. We're just a few moments away now from a 27 lap race around this 5.793 kilometre track. The distance over this full race course over the 27 laps will be 156.411 kilometre, or if that in miles is 97.173 miles. And remember, the tyres we are going to be using is the C5 soft tyres, the C4 mediums, and the C3 hard compound tyres. There is 2 DRS zones here. The pit lane, the time you're losing there is 24 seconds to the time through the pit lane and the pit stop. If it's under a safety car, it will be 21 seconds. So we've always got to take that into consideration. But now we've got one light. We've got the formation lap just getting underway now. I always forget because there's some leagues that I don't do and they don't have formation lap. But anyway, we've got only 5 drivers opting for the hard compound tyre. Mr. Cookie, who's starting on pole, Mark Bow, our championship leader, Ben T. Smith in the other McLaren. So both McLarens going on the hard compound tyre. Then we've got the RB of Eric Pinto down in 18th and Hazard in 20th on the hard compound, looking to go as long as he can and try and open up that window for a safety car. So there we see, folks, the little tyre graphic at the bottom of your screen there that just came up, and that was saying that the tyres were mediums lasting about 13 laps and 15 laps for the hard tyres, but of course that is just an estimate. We could be seeing them coming in a bit earlier than that or a bit later, depending on where you are or if there's a safety car or not. There we go, we just see Mark in the background there just going off the track. Just trying to warm his tyres up a bit too much there, I think. And veering off into the wall. And so they got that Alpine covered in mud. There we go, we see the last car on the grid line up. Now we've got 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And there seems to be a little bit of a lag there, and we're away. And it looks like Mark Bull managed to get a great start there. Look at him, he's already up and away into the lead. Cookie there managing to get the best start. Connor alongside going into turn 1. Seen Murph there getting a little bit closer there. Connor getting pushed out there, and we've seen a little bit of damage there. I think we've seen some debris, possibly a broken front wing, but these three, have pulled a big gap. Connor, Cookie and Mark Bow looking further back here. We're trying to see, looks like Unzi is under threat from the 2 Aston Martins just behind. Then we've got the 2 Williams just behind that. Then the 2 Ferraris who seem to be battling out going into Lesmo 1. Then we've got the Red Bull of M. Harry and Ben T. Smith going side by side as they're going round the Lesmo 1 and almost going side by side along the Lesmo 2 there. You see the Red Bull of Jimmy Jags trying what he can to try and get past Nobby Bootneck and get up into that 18th position and try and get up right up as far as he can now. Having a look here, we've got Connor under threat from Mr. Cookie again, who started on pole but has dropped down 2 places from Mark and Connor. Unzi unfortunately lost a place as well, and same with Bob due to that. But looking at Mr. Cookie, looks like he's got that straight line speed and he's got that slipstream as well, but he's going to be boxed in, and there's a little bit of contact there between the McLaren and the RB. The RB goes off the track and almost sweeps across the track and takes out Cookie, and now Connor has dropped right down the order, and he's all the way down into 15th, 16th, going up to down to 17th now. Is Nobby Bootneck going to get past now? It is going to be the question. Connor not getting the greatest launch start at the second lap. We'll go back up to the front here and we see Unzi is right on the tail of that McLaren for a second place. Just behind is Bob, still in 4th. They're only 0.8 seconds behind. Managed to get past Ross and a little margin there. No, Melt Dave, sorry, dropped down. Murph, sorry, my mistake. Getting all muddled up there, and it looks like Murph has been overtaken by Mel Dave also. And that's because there is damage to the front wing of that Aston Martin, and that is why Murph has been going so slow, but he's going to be trying to keep that going as much as he possibly can. Going back up to the front of the grid here, it looks like Mark Bull is being overtaken by Cookie with some of that DRS. Having a look at these guys here further back, it doesn't look like they're going for much of an overtake. Oh, and always grinding, almost goes into the back of M. Harry there. And Ben T. Smith's round. Ben T. Smith is around, and he is dropping place by place by place. Connor has retired from the session. We have got a safety car. We have got a safety car, and I have no idea how that has happened. I hope he hasn't bottled it into the wall and caused the safety car deliberately, because that would be very unfortunate. Ben T. Smith going off the track to allow Super Calco in that position back. Very nice of him there. But are we going to see some of these drivers who are on the medium tyre jump into the pits? I think it may be a bit early for that, but we could always wait and see. We've got the safety car just waiting out of the Rettifilio chicane there on the exit of turn 2. See if anyone is going to go in. Nope, nope. Oh, little margin. Murph's got to pit. Murph, why isn't Murph pitting? Murph hasn't got a front, he's got a part of his front wing missing. That is unusual, I will say. It would be expected to go into the pits and get a new set, possibly jump onto the set of mediums, and yeah, you may be down at the back of the grid, but you'll not be losing as many places. Unzi has left the session. Let me see if I could just get him back real quick. Damn. No, unfortunately, I am unable to. So, due to that, we could possibly end up seeing Unzi's AI car jumping into the pits. I really hope that doesn't happen, but we'll soon see. And there we go, Unzi is back in the game. He just needs to try and get, well, back in the lobby. He just needs to get back into his racing seat and hopefully not be going into the pits if he doesn't want it, as that could really ruin his race, especially now he will go right to the back of the grid. And it looks like it's going into the pits. Oh no! Unzi is not going to be happy. His AI car has just driven into the pits to get a tyre change, and that is going to put him all the way down to the back of the grid, and he's going on to the hard compound tyres. He's got to hope and pray for a late safety car, that will be for certain. Let's see, when will we be able to get back into their driving seat? And there we go, it's back in now. Anyone who's just joining us, welcome along. Much appreciated for you joining the stream. And Unzi is having connection issues. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, we know how much of a hindrance they are. Let's see, I do apologise, I don't think the safety car is in this lap, is it? Nope, we're going to have another lap of the safety car. So, looking at the order right now. Oh, Ben T. Smith, 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is not good. But is he able to get rid of it right now? Nope, that's it. He's done, unfortunately. Nobby Bootneck there. And there was someone else. Let's have a wee quick look. It was Nobby Bootneck and Super Calgon. Both got time penalties. And Ben T. Smith had a 10-second time penalty. That's what just got done there. And that's what's happened. He ended up getting a 10-second time penalty, serving it, and then got another one just at this margin before it. And there we go, we've got that message from race control to say that the safety car is in this lap. So now we're going to have Mr. Cookie. He's going to be leading us away. And he's going to be backing the pack up to let the Aston Martin safety car pull away into the distance and get back into the pit lane. And then we'll be getting the green flag to go racing yet again. But there'll be no overtaking until you cross that start-finish line. And it looks like, is he going? Is he going? He's went now. There he is. And he's went away, and it doesn't look good. They've managed to get much of an answer for him here, but it looks like Ross has possibly got an answer. He's moving over to the left-hand side on Bob here, and is he going to be going for a dive around the outside? He could be waiting and getting that better exit line out of the second corner. No, doesn't look like it. Unfortunately, Unzi though has flew up the order and is now sitting in 14th place from being way back in 19th after before Benty Smith went and he's went and disconnected yet again. That's unfortunate. If he's having that much connection issues, it may be time to go to the pits when he can. We've just seen a little margin there overtaking Super Calgon for that 14th position. And is he just dropping them places down? Joshy Wilkos is going to go for a move. No, he's going to be a bit too far back. As they're going into the Ascari chicane now. There we go, we've still got Mr. Cookie in first, Mark Boone second, and Bob in third, Ross fourth, Mel Dave fifth, Murph in sixth, seventh is Jay-Z, Joshy Wilkos eighth, ninth is M. Harry, and we've got always grinding in 10th, and 11th we've got Eric Pinto, Jimmy Jags 12th, 13th Hazard, Little Margin 14th, then we've got the Haas and Silver drivers of Super Calgon and Nobby Bootneck, and then Brewdog and Unzi. Looking further back there, that was looking like an overtake possibly happening between, was that Eric Pinto and Jimmy Jags? Looked like that was about to happen there. Joshy Wilkos is staying right close to the back of that Ferrari of GZ and trying to find any opportunity he can to go past and claim that 7th place. Going down 2 position changes, we've seen Mel Dave, who's the biggest gainer out in the top 10 anyway, with 6 places now. Sorry, GZ as well, both Ferraris up 6 places. We've got Eric Pinto up 7 places, Hazard up 6 also. We're looking at Joshy Wilkos, he's about to take 1 place away from GZ after getting a great launch there out of the Ascari section, and now moving up into 7th place. It was the opportunity that he'd been waiting for, and now it looks like Ross is finally going to get that opportunity on the other Ferrari of Mel Dave. Absolutely smashing, using that DRS to full effect and getting up to way over 200 mile an hour. Now looking further back, it looked like the Ferrari of Jay-Z was going to have a little peek back to try and reclaim that 7th position, but unfortunately he was a bit too far back. Super Calgon and Nobby Bootneck battling, and now going further down with Nobby Bootneck battling out with Super Calgon there. Hazard and Little Margin swapping places there. We'll go further up, always grinding. Oh, he went right wide there on Lesmo 1 there. And M. Harry getting a little bit out of shape on the exit of Lesmo 2. Could this leave him a little bit vulnerable to the Alpine of Always Grinding? And it looks like, yes, Always Grinding, sending it up the inside of the Ascari section. Absolutely beautiful, and claims that 9th place. He goes right off the track and he's going to lose it. And Jay-Z was off the track there at the Ascari section also, and he could have had that chance to reclaim that, to go up into 8th position there, but unfortunately he messed up himself, and now M. Harry is taking full full use of that opportunity to try and move ahead and into 8th place there. Absolutely smashing there and always grinding. Is going to lose another place possibly to Eric Pinto there, but Eric Pinto managing to get it quite nicely and defend. Eric always grinding, managing to defend quite nicely there, and Murph being overtaken by M. Harry and by GZ. Murph going a bit slow here. I think they just had a little bit of an error just coming out of turn 2 and ended up getting a time penalty, so that's not going to help them at all. Will Murph be looking to reclaim that position back after that quite big error? Going further up, Mr. Cookie, is he going to be going for a move? He's getting right close there. There's a little bit of lag there, but Mark Bowes managed to overtake Mr. Cookie and get up into first place on them hard compound tyres. We'll look back at the tyres right now. Bob's tyres will be starting to go off now, and the hard tyres will be starting to come into play of their own. But Bob's managing to sit within that DRS zone. Mark being overtaken now, being left very vulnerable without having that DRS, and Mr. Cookie just passes right by. M. Harry jumping into the... Oh! We've seen car off the track there, Mel Dave, and that was Ross, and always grinding there, all coming to a collision there, and I just missed that. I'll see if I can get it on the stream here as I'm looking up there, as I did just sort of miss that there. Oh, and that was always grinding there, but actually and Mel Dave, they came together and always grinding went off track a little after the collision and ended up pulling back on track and making another collision with I think that was Mel Dave just there, and then yeah, unfortunately I ended up losing that place due to that. So looking now, Eric Pinto and Murph battling out. Murph managing to get past Eric Pinto there. Welcome along all those who are watching right now. We've got a thrilling race on our hands. We've got the top 3 all separated just by just a second. Eric Pinto there overtaking Murph yet again to reclaim that 8th position. We could possibly see an overtake here from Ross on Mel Dave as they're going into turn 1. We've got a couple of drivers in the pits, GZ and Nobby Bootneck, both pitting down in 14th and 15th place. Well, Imagine and Murph swapping places. They're going to be going side by side, going through turn 1 and 2 through the Retfield chicane. They're going to be side by side all the way through the Retfield Curva Grande. Nope, they're not. Well, Imagine managed to move up into 8th place. Nicely done. We've got Eric Pinto there managing to move back up past Murph. And they're going to be side by side again as they're going through the Del Rogier chicane, and now Eric Pinto trying to do the switchback. He's going to have the inside line going into Lesmo 2, and he manages to get that move done. That was absolutely spectacular. But now Murph is going to have that DRS, and so is Super Calgon, and Eric Pinto is just left vulnerable. Is Jimmy Jag's going to be able to do anything? No, he isn't. He's too far behind. Now Eric Pinto just lost 2 places there from Murph and Super Calgon. Now is Murph going to be losing that place back? We'll check back in. Mark Bow moving back up into first place there and reclaiming the lead of this Grand Prix. These 3 there are not moving an inch between each other. Mel Dave there now moving up into 4th place there, overtaking Joshy Wilco's, going down on the start finish straight with the aid of the DRS. Super Calgon is now into the pits in that Haas. Looking on now, the top 3 still only separated by less than a second. And it really does go to show you how powerful the DRS is here. As soon as you slip out of it, that's it. Looking at Joshy Wilco's now, he is sitting right on the gearbox of Mel Dave, and he'll be desperate to try and get past, as he's got a 7-second gap to close in to try and catch up to the top 3 runners now, the podium runners at the moment. But then again, remember, all could change. Eric Pinto and Murph still battling it out here, and Jimmy Jaggs getting past Murph also there, who didn't have the DRS. Now Jimmy Jaggs going off the track, and Brewdog now getting past Jimmy Jaggs. Murph and Brewdog both sailing past there on the back straight there. And here we go, we're seeing all the pit stops happening now at the end of lap 13. And this will be all the medium runners coming in for their hard compound tyres now. And there we go, just as we see there. We've still got Mark and Cookie still fighting it out for that first position. But looking at it now, has Bob pulled a blinder? Are these two going to have to say something back and get into the pits? Or will Bob be able to get the undercut? Or will they be hoping to be able to get ahead just enough to be able to get to hold up everyone else? Did they get held up by everyone else? Sorry, my mistake. But looking at it now, we'll keep an eye on these front two and see if any of them are going to be going into the pit lane. Nope, they're both staying out another lap. So, there you have it, they are staying out. We're still going to be focusing on this battle here for 4th position. Eric Pinto has opened up a gap a little as Murph's tyres are falling off. And I think it might be time for Murph to hop into the pits. And I think for Murph having no front wing, I think still we're getting a front wing change here. We'll find out in just a moment. No, it was Murph who needed a front wing change, wasn't it? Yeah, and Murph still hasn't got that front wing change, but still has been managing to prove excellent racing still. Just imagine what Murph had to be like if he had all the downforce that the car required. It would have been absolutely spectacular. Now we're going to go moving up further on for these top 2. And we'll see if they're going to be boxing any time soon. Unless they're going to be going longer and getting a set of soft tyres. And nope, they stay out yet again, but now Mark making his move, using that DRS to full effect and getting back up into the lead. Moving further down the road, Big M Harry just managed to get past Mel Dave there. And now M Harry's almost pulled out a whole second on Mel Dave, and it's actually going to get the DRS off of Joshy Wilco's now. And Josh is going to be a little bit vulnerable now, for he's not going to have any DRS, whereas M Harry will have the DRS, so he's going to be able to gain on Joshy in that Mercedes. But right now Ross overtaking the Ferrari of GZ and now moving up into 10th position there. Nicely done. Now he's only got to pull in a 10th of a second to be able to get into the DRS range of the other Ferrari of Mel Dave, who's sitting in 9th place just ahead of him. Going back up to the lead, they're only separated by 3/10 here, and they're quite a way away. And we'll see if they're going to be boxing on lap 16. Murph and Jimmy Jaggs swapping places yet again. And Cookie throwing the dummy there. And he isn't going in the pits, so they're staying out yet again for another lap. M Harry still on the tail of Joshy. GZ being overtaken by the Alpine of Always Grinding. And now GZ moves down into 12th place. That's been overtaken twice in 2 laps now. moving further up. We'll see. Could an overtake be happening? Nope. Ross puts in the fastest time, a 1:20.665. Nicely done from the Williams driver sitting down in 10th. Jay-Z now overtaking, always grinding there. We've got Murph and Jimmy Jags swapping places yet again. Murph now moving up into 14th place. Jimmy Jags with a 3-second time penalty. We'll have a wee quick look at penalties actually at the moment. We've got Super Calgon and Nobby Bitneck with both 10-second time penalties. And Murph and Jimmy Jags both with 3-second time penalties. And they will be for exceeding track limits. Moving further up a little, we'll see Ross gaining on Mel Dave and M. Harry there, sitting in 8th and 9th, just ahead. And here we go, we're going to see Mel Dave go for the move. I don't think it would be the brightest idea. And there we go, we've seen a little game of chicken there between the two of them. We heard Mel Dave on the brakes and we've seen M. Harry on the brakes. So who is going to have the DRS? Is it going to be Mel Dave or is it going to be M. Harry? Which one is going to be vulnerable? And it's going to be Mel Dave is the one who's vulnerable. He's going to be losing 2 places. Ross, the absolute genius, has waited until these two were battling. And there we go, Mel Dave. That was not right. And now M. Harry's dropping right down. Mel Dave there not giving the space up the inside, but then again, M. Harry should have expected that Mel Dave was still going to be alongside. I think this is definitely going to be one that's going to the stewards after the race. Super Calgon and Jimmy Jags going side by side there on the Curva Grande and into the Del Roggi chicane. Mark Bull getting a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Now he is going to have to absolutely book it now and get them medium tyres on and get them up to temperature absolutely rapidly. And he's been undercut by Little Majin, but Little Majin's been on them tyres since lap 4, so they've underwent quite a lot of strain. So don't think he's going to be able to get them to go 22 laps. If so, that's going to be absolutely spectacular. But right now, Mark is going to be the one on the rampage here. And just blitzing it to the end now. As he's just got that 10-second time penalty looming over his head. We'll keep an eye on the time to the leader. When we look there, he's already gained enough time to be able to reclaim that lead, and he'll be able to reclaim it by a good few seconds, which shows you how important that the undercut is here. It's already down to 21.2 seconds. Remember, folks, it is a 24-second pit lane time loss here. 21 seconds under the VSC or safety car. There we go. See Mr. Cookie now peeling off into the pits. Is Mark Bull going to be ahead here? Oh, M. Harry getting 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and that'll be for exceeding track limits. And don't want to be doing that too much. Mr. Cookie, though, onto the soft compound tyres, and there we see him just coming out of the pit lane now, and he's going to end up behind Brewdog, sitting in 5th place, but he's going to have that soft tyre, and he's only sitting 7.7 seconds off the lead of Little Majin, and that is going to close in quite quickly. I would say Bob is technically the leader at the moment. Now, seeing here, Mark Bull has got, we've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Who is that? That's the Haas of Super Calgon. So that was Super Calgon and Murph there, so unsure what happened to them coming into a collision at turn 1, as usually what's happened, but right now we've got Hazard losing 2 places to Ross, Northover and Always Grinding there, and now he's moving down into 10th place. Is Always Grinding going to be going for this move here? Nope, he's just a little bit too far back. Mark Bull with a 1:20.616 puts in the fastest lap of the race, and now is only sitting 2 seconds off Little Margin on them 17 lap old hard tyres. Mark on them fresh medium tyres, only done 1 lap on them, well 2 laps now. There we go. See Eric Pinto and Ross Northover battling it out over that 8th position. Over that 8th position there, and getting right close, Always Grinding. And he was almost always grinding up the exhaust of Ross in that Williams. And I thought that GZ going around the outside of Always Grinding there, going into the Del Roggia chicane. Absolutely spectacular, beautiful move there to claim that 9th position. Now next on his list will be Ross Northover, who's sitting in 8th on them 7 lap old hard tyres. They're a couple of laps younger than GZ's, but GZ could still use the DRS, as Ross won't have any, so we could see how that is going to play out on the run down into turn 1 on the start finish straight in just a few moments. Moving up though, Little Margin being overtaken by Mark and Bob. Bob has now been overtaken by Mark. Jesus peeps. And just missing all that action there. Mark Bob now moving up into the lead of this Grand Prix yet again. His competitor, Mr. Cookie, is sitting 2.6 seconds back. Always Grinding here, losing a couple of more places there, but now he's going to be battling out with GZ around the Del Roggia chicane. He's going to have that inside line, the Curva Grande, going into the Del Roggia chicane. We've got Ross Northover just ahead in that Williams, and GZ cuts in front of Always Grinding, denying him that 9th position and that space. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1, Murph getting a 10-second time penalty for corner cut. We'll have a wee quick look at the instances just there. Going further down, GZ peeps, a lot of people have got penalties here. Mark Bowe just got a 3-second time penalty. Also, he's booting it too hard here. Murph getting that 10-second time penalty for corner cut, and that is right unlucky there. Now looking up at Bob. Bob now battling it out with Mark here. And this is not what Mark wants after having 13 seconds worth of time penalties. Yep, that Alpine not been the best here today. Jimmy Jags being overtaken by Nobby Bootneck, but could that all change in just a moment? As Nobby Bootneck, I don't think he's going to have the DRS to boot. No, he isn't. So he's going to be left vulnerable to Jimmy Jags, who's had the slipstream, and now the DRS, and is absolutely flying. And now he's got his teammate of M. Harry just ahead of him. Little Margin now being overtaken by Mr. Cookie on them soft tyres. I don't think it would be a bright idea for Little Margin to fight that. I think his best idea is just stay where he is, just keep going, save them tyres as much as possible, and could still walk away with a 3rd position, as Mark Bowe has got a 13-second time penalty. But now he's just went and overtaken Bob for the lead again, and all this battling is going to allow Mr. Cookie to catch up, and all Mr. Cookie has to do is overtake Bob. Now we've only got 3.5 laps to go in this Grand Prix. When you look, always grinding. There's always been this battle here for about 6th or 7th place, or 8th in this case, and now always grinding, trying to use as much speed as he can, but they're both saving and both on none. And you've got Jay-Z just behind that. They're all staying really close to each other. Oh, Super Cal going around again. Nope, he's just been overtaken by Hazard and Murph. Now going back on Hazard and going back on Murph. Oh, and he could have sent it down the inside there. Could have embraced his inner Daniel Ricciardo there and got that 15th place, but decided best to play it safe, considering you have got 13 seconds worth of time penalties. You don't want to be getting caught up in any more instances. But looking now, oh, always grinding, getting right close to the back of Ross North over there. But it looks like Jay-Z's getting a better launch out of the final corner. I'll say it's like Jay-Z's got a bit too much drag on, and he's not getting a bit too much downforce, and he's not getting the straight line speed that he needs. Always grinding there, going a little bit too aggressive, him and Ross being a little bit too aggressive with each other, and always grinding, actually having to cut the apex a little there, and almost lost the place there to Mel Dave. But now Mel Dave has managed to make his way up into 7th place. Always grinding. Jay-Z, sorry, is now Jay-Z peeps. I'm looking at the wrong people. But we've just seen Mr. Cookie there getting a 3-second time penalty. That is not going to be good for his race. Little Majin could get a 2nd place here, but he needs to stay committed and gain a good couple of seconds anyway. And Mr. Cookie being boxed in there from Mark and Bob. And Mr. Cookie there doing excellent racing there. And now they're going to be going side by side. Is Mr. Cookie going to have the speed going around the outside of the Curva Grande, going down into the inside? They're swapping left and right, back and forward. And Mark Bull manages to keep the lead from some excellent defending. And Bob has to sit in 2nd place for now. And it looked like Mr. Cookie was just going to think about throwing it up the inside of the 2nd Lesmos, but decided better of it. I want to sit with these guys up in the lead right now. Less than half a second between them. Looking on board with Mr. Cookie now. He's looking to have a wee peek down the inside, but he thinks better against that. He's going to have to try and wait until the start-finish strikes. You want to carry as much speed as you can. Now, he's going to have that DRS wide open. He's going to have the double slipstream. He's moved to the right-hand side on Bob. And now Bob is going to be getting this better straight-line speed, and he just can't do anything about it. And Bob goes into the side of Mark, and is Mr. Cookie going to try and do the same again? Yes, he is. He's on the left-hand side of Bob. And now he's on the left-hand side of Mark. He's going around the outside of both of them on the Curva Grande, getting that traction that he needed out of the right of field wheel chicane. And now Bob going for the inside line on Mark, but Mark later on the brakes now manages to defend that position quite nicely there, and has managed to settle for 2nd place for now. We'll go further down and see this battle that's underway for 6th place. Mel Davis managing to keep quite close there to the back of Joshy Wilco's. Joshy Wilco's has been quite unbothered just as of the past wee bit, and oh, JC just managing to get past, always grinding there. What a move there. Another 10-second penalty for Murph for corner cutting, and that's definitely going to almost put them back to the back of the grid, as Unzi won't be classified, I don't think, due to being being disconnected and not being in his seat. Bob now, and there we go, Bob manages to get the win. Mr. Cookie in 2nd, Mark in 3rd, then we've got Little Majin in third actually. Mark Bolt in fourth. We've got Brewdog who's coming to the line in fifth. Joshy Wilco's in sixth. Is he going to be overtaken? No, he isn't. Mel Dave just narrowly missing out on that sixth position. Jay-Z in eighth. Then we've got Always Grinding just coming to the line in that Alpine. Eric Pinto just cruising along to the end. And Murph has been disqualified for receiving too many penalties. That is unfortunate. Eric Pinto comes across in 10th. Then we've got Ross Northover and Jimmy Jaggs right close to each other. And then we've got M. Harry right on the tail of his teammate. Then we had Nobby Bootneck, Super Calgon. Unfortunately, ends up with a big, massive penalty. We've got Hazard here, who comes in 16th place. And we've got Unzi, who ended up lapped due to a disconnection. But now, folks, please do not press X, and at least let me get some of the names rattled off first. But see, Brewdog there got the EA's driver of the day. There we go, Bob coming out swinging with the McLaren of Cookie and the Little Majin in third. There we go, got Bob who walked away with the win. Mr. Cookie got the pole position but didn't walk away with the win, ended up with that 3-second time penalty near the end that did bother him up. Little Majin managed to get a wee bit lucky there with Mark Bow having that 13-second time penalty, and that allowed him to get past. Mark Bow in fourth, and we had Brewdog fifth, who came up from 16th. That is actually really impressive. Joshy Wilco's in sixth, Mel Dave seventh, Jay-Z in eighth, ninth is Always Grinding. Eric Pinto was 10th, Ross Northover in 11th, 12th was Jimmy Jaggs, and the other Red Bull of M. Harry in 13th. 14th was Nobby Bootneck, Hazard in 15th, Super Calgon in 16th, and the ones who did not finish were Unzi, Benty Smith, Connor, and Murph was unfortunately disqualified at the end of the Grand Prix. So there you have it, folks, for the round 3 of season 10, and that was Monza. They're absolutely spectacular racing from everybody. Next week we will be at Qatar, where it will be the 3-tyre compound rule, so every driver must compete on the soft tyres, the hard tyres, and the medium tyres, so all 3 at one point during the Grand Prix. So there's a lot to look forward to on that, and if you enjoyed the content, please feel free to leave us a like and to subscribe, and possibly share with your other friends who maybe enjoy Formula 1 or esports. And until next week, from me, it is peace out.